Titan's got more. Wow, this is so exciting. Welcome, everyone. I know the library often has guest speakers and has a lot of wonderful things that they put on, but this is the first one that our little historical society's put on. So we're excited that you're all here. Really excited. So Sarah, if I forget anything, you tell me as I'm talking, as I'm going, because I will. I'm Donna, and the historical board is here and there. So why don't you guys stand up who's working on the board? We've got Mike Marker back there. Sarah. Right. Bill Ford is somewhere. There he is, right in front of me. And we have other members as well, Chris and Joe. And who else are we missing?
Connie.
Oh, hello, Connie's on our board. You were hiding behind. Yeah, and we have a few others, but we're always looking for more. It's easy to be on the board. We don't really do a whole lot. I thought when I invited them all to be on the board, I said, oh, it's going to be really easy. We're not going to do very much. We've really had fun. We've been doing so many things. We have more to come. We're trying to gather the history, artifacts, mostly documents, photos, all of that. And Sarah has given us a spot in the library. Do you want to talk about the spot?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated spot in the corner of the library. It's going to have a computer, internet access, so that you can log on to our future website, which I'm sure Titan will talk about a little bit. We just received a grant from Pay It Forward for a very nice scanner. So if you have any historical documents that you'd like to come bring in, we will be able to quickly scan those and get them back to you. So that is in the works as we speak.
It is. Thank you, Pay It Forward.
Yes.
It's a very nice photo scanner. It actually scans your photos and your documents in 1 second, and it will highlight them. You can colorize. I mean, it's really great. So if you've got things, even you want to use just for your personal family, it's going to be housed here at the library. So y'all can use it. Okay? It'll be set up as soon as Connie orders it. Soon. We'll get it set up soon. So we'd like to have these events on a regular basis, maybe every couple of months. So please be thinking about if you or your family would like to share one and present one of these. We've already kind of twisted Bill's arm to do one, and a couple of other folks. We'd love to have more information about this lovely valley and your part in it. So tonight, did I tell enough? Or Titan, were you going to talk about something? Website, maybe?
No, I'm bringing in more chairs.
Titan's bringing in more chairs. Okay. It's always good to have somebody young and energetic on the board. That's always. So this is so exciting. We've got this amazing Alley family here. Steve and I got to spend a little time together. We wandered around the valley for 4 hours. And Steve told me about all kinds of great things that were here and there, right? I haven't transcribed it yet, and that's been months, but it will happen. I promise. So what we've asked them to do today is to share a little bit about their family, your role in Garden Valley, just a little bit about life as you were growing up. And then, so I've got, they shared some photos, so I'm sorry they're small, but hopefully you'll get a good idea of what's going on. You got them in real life here, so we need a photo to get the real thing. And then I think maybe after Linda and Steve do a little chat, we'll have Jan talk about rodeo days and add more, and then Judy, she's gonna hate me. I took photos of all of your writing. Yeah, she's kind of also a famous rodeo queen as Jan is. So you're probably really mad at me that I did. Is it okay if we show them?
Oh yes.
Okay then. All right. Well, we'll turn the time over. Yeah, to Steve and Linda. Go ahead.
I know nothing.
Meeting's adjourned then, yeah? Okay. And speak up as much as you can, Steve. I didn't think about a microphone. I'm sorry. Do we even have one? Do we have a microphone in the building?
No.
Sarah,
Leah said I'm not coming.
Sarah's gone. I'll go, yeah, you better go see if there's a microphone. Okay. Because I gotta run this. No microphone? Okay, no microphone. Okay.
Mainly who's up there, Dad? And what year did Grandpa come to Garden Valley?
1938, my dad came, worked in a mine up on, above the power dam, the old power dam up here.
The Grimes Pass?
What's that?
Was that the Grimes Pass?
Well, it was above the Grimes
Above there?
Pass. I was trying to think of the name of it the other day, but my brain's gone. But he worked up there in that mine, and then, yeah, anyhow. But then him and Mom got married and whatnot, so.
That's Mom
Yep,
and him.
yep.
Sterling.
That's Mom and Dad right there. I think that's the only picture of them together.
Grandma
Well,
was,
they photo of them. They actually went and got a photo of them.
Yeah,
and Grandma Allie was a fat girl.
yeah, Grandma was a back row.
Yes.
Or my mother was a back row.
Or, yeah.
So I'm related to all the back rows too.
Right.
Uncle Ed and Eddie and them are all Eddie's cousins, but Barb, she just passed away, so but, yeah, my sister Karen passed away, so you got the rest of the family here.
There you go.
Okay,
No,
Dan,
Leah
this
didn't
is,
come.
Leah didn't come. This is Jim and Jean,
Yeah, that's Jim and Jean.
Yorn.
Yeah.
and they were in the White House, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'll let Steve get done, then I'll start on the Norm
No.
history.
That's
We got Jim
fine.
and Jean up there.
Yeah, that's Jim and his brother Gene.
Yeah.
They own the land where the park is now, right?
And this,
Yes,
And
and
this here.
they were the third family to move into this valley in 1865.
Wow.
They came before there was any roads. They brought the kids in pack boxes on horses. And Jim's great uncle, Harry Carter, he brought the first wheeled vehicle into Garden Valley. Now I imagine most of you here have been to Placerville.
Yes.
Well, that is where he brought the first wagon, was from Placerville down into here.
Oh, wow.
With no roads of any kind. So you can imagine.
It's terrible with the road.
Right? So, yeah.
Wow.
And I have, at home, I have contracts of where not Harry, his dad Hod, which was Horace actually, but he's always Hod. Anyhow, Hod and some of the charters had took contract to cut wood, and they got $5 a cord.
Wow. And they're getting $7.50 for 3 pieces. They know where to buy it. Look at how the times go.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, Jim's dad, or not his dad, his grandfather and his grandmother moved in here. They were the third family in the valley. That it wasn't Tuckers, then it was Mounts. They were here, and the Charters. And then the Warrens were the third family in the valley.
So Steve, there's a picture of your birthplace evidently.
and this is where Dad was born, up across from Dan's skin.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
So
I
there-
outlasted the house, so.
There you go.
And is that Grandpa? Who is that on the bucking horse? Do you know?
That's Jimmy.
It's
My
that's
son Jimmy.
no, that it's an old black and white one I
Oh,
found.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
That was taken down there that Dad was trying out bucking horses for a girls' rodeo.
At the old arena below where Timberlane is.
Yep.
Oh.
Timberlane Automobile. That's where the old arena. Our dad built that arena in 53, I think. But and I don't know how many of you, not rodeo people maybe, but Dean Oliver, who was 7 times world champion calf roper, roped his first calf in competition.
Wow.
Here in Garden Valley.
And that's one of the 4th of July ropings.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't know who those pretty girls are, but you guys started
There's Jimmy.
rodeo for women. Okay, that's
That's Jimmy at the Pine Tree Ranch Arena.
That's my oldest son.
And that's, if you go up the Middle Fork,
Just you cross Driver Creek.
where the Elk Ranch is, and it's Arena Road now, but that was the rodeo arena there. And that's where that was.
Over the road there. There's nothing there but one lone pine tree growing up.
I thought these were kind of cool watching seeing your dad pull all this equipment with his horses.
Yep.
Is that
That one, that place, we call it the Compton place, but just out over the hill from Costco, that barn is, the thing on it.
Star
Dad
painting.
farmed all of that. We farmed that for 20 years.
So they're drag horses,
Dad
huh?
farmed a lot of that with
Yeah.
horses.
Wow.
He had a tractor, but he liked the horses better.
Right?
I had that, I call that little cart he's sitting on his dad's tractor. I built a little hitch on the back of it and stuff. That's a mule's corrugating peas. Good peas right up there just over the hill.
Really?
There's houses going up there now. That grew peas in that outfit from down there on Highway 20, whatever.
going in, just out of Caldwell, it's a seed company now. It's, I can't remember what, it used to be Rogers Seed, and I don't know what it is now.
They hired Dad to plant peas. There he is right there planting peas.
And your dad was also the sheriff, right? Is that
Yep.
correct?
He's deputy sheriff.
for 38 years.
Wow.
Deputy sheriff was his name.
Nobody even knew it. He never-
Nobody knew it. He didn't tell anybody.
Never carried that badge out where it could be seen. It underneath the flap of his shirt. Whenever he went to dances or anything.
One time, before we got modern, we got a 2-lane bridge. We had for 100 years a little 1-lane bridge across the Middle Fork from Crowdser. And, it was understood if somebody was on the bridge, you waited, or if you had started on, you backed up. Well, Dad was coming across the bridge, and he was already in the middle of the bridge, and yes, Volkswagen with young people in it, they pulled up on the bridge, on the bridge, and they wouldn't back off. So Dad, being Dad, he just run over the front of the Volkswagen. And, so they jumped out and they were thinking, "We want the law, we want the law." "What do you want the law for?" "Lunch on this." Dad said, "Well, here I am." And I'll tell you a story on my brother. Dad, once in a great while, because people would get to really driving too fast up and down the Banks Road, and Dad would do a little patrolling, I don't think he ever wrote a ticket, but he'd stop them, So Steve had the pickup one time, and him and his friend decided they could do that. They got trouble for that.
Nice and loud, Jan, because can y'all hear back there?
Yeah.
Not too well, so have to shout at him. There's your dad again.
He's breaking the Mustang that they had.
That's a Mustang that come off of the Whitey Desert.
Wow.
He never had a rope on him. Till there.
Until there.
They still have horses out there, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad
Yeah.
was a hunting camp. That's when he's getting a little age on him. It shows his team and wagon. That's one of the old horses right there that we worked. We packed them too. I used to ride that 4-wheeler. That's when we get to hunting camp.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Steve, tell him about, you told me that there weren't any elk here. When you
There
were
wasn't
born.
any elk here in the early 40s, and then there was no elk in Good Valley.
The animals are like animals.
They all come. My granddad, they drove elk off of the train. They loaded them in
Boise.
Montana and hauled them into Boise, And he drove them just like a bunch of cows up the Boise River to where Air Rock Dam is now and turned them loose.
Really?
I got the article, was
Wow.
1912 in the Statesman article that I got. They took him here and took him to council.
Introduced him. Really? Wow.
We got him from Yellowstone and brought him in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That was hunting camp. with
Yeah,
How
Yellowstone.
boring it would be if we didn't have them to feed, right? Watch them to shove on the food.
Might have no deer though.
Tear up the golf course.
I'm having a hard time here. Come on, baby. Try it again.
Them bald-faced horses, that's old Bunyan.
Can't turn it.
He lived up there where Tucker, Jimmy Tucker's place is up. Just go past the portable and the road goes down onto the river right there. And the portable sawmill used to sit down there. There used to be 5 sawmills in this valley.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the portable sawmill sat there. And it's the one that ended up down at Horseshoe Bend, right there where the pine patch is, right below the road right there. They moved that sawmill down to there.
Yeah.
More your dad.
Two houses.
Mm-hmm.
That's old Doc and Dylan.
Those are the names. That might be the last one here. Anybody have questions for Steve about life here in Garden Valley, or anybody want to?
Is the house still here? You grew up in?
The old house where we moved there in 1957, but it's still over here on the,
It's on Anderson Creek Road above the arena.
Okay.
you go up there, it's still there. But where all these houses are, my house was over there where you turn and go down Sawmill Road and there's a big barn out there. My house sat just across the creek there.
Steve, when did you start doing the cattle drives up into
Deer Valley.
into Bear Valley?
Well,
Did you do that as a
I went
kid
for
or?
21 years over there, over the top of Scott Mountain driving cows. We drove cows from Horseshoe Bend where that Horseshoe subdivision is. We drove cows right up the road and right to here, and then we scattered them out up here through Danskin and Pine Creek and all this country for about a month and a half, and then gathered them up and drove them up Old Scott Mountain to Deadwood and on to Bear Valley.
Wow.
From the Creek Trail to Bear Valley. The snow was usually so deep on the top of Scott Mountain the cows could walk on it, but we drove the vehicles with our dinner plates in and had to drive around through either through Bear Valley or out through Cascade.
Warm Lake. Yeah.
Steve, we just read an article about the McBride House.
What was that?
We just read an article about the McBride House.
Yeah,
Did you know those folks?
I knew the first person that I know of there was Harry Graham, but the McBrides weren't there when I was old enough. I know I probably rode by there because we lived up Alder Creek, or not Alder Creek, up the Middle Fork anyhow, and I used to ride my horse back and forth through there all the time. My horse was my transportation.
Well, I have a question, Steve. You guys did so much haying and you were raising peas and doing all this. Nobody seems to farm anymore at all in the valley except
That's
those
correct.
individual gardens. Why? Was it just too hard? We have too short of a growing season? But how do you guys do it?
We had cows and everything we raised was fed to the cows. And it was, the winters was too long to feed the cows. You started feeding in the middle of October a lot of time, and then you had to feed till the 1st of May. And it was just too long to feed. And slowly everybody got out of the cow business, and then all the places got bought up by people and subdivided and whatnot.
You had to have a lot of acreage here to have cattle?
What
You had to have a lot of acreage to have cattle? How much
No.
acres per head here?
You gotta have a lot of hillsides or something for cows, 'cause they roam around a lot more than people think.
So how many cattle would you drive? How many?
Well, it'd be about 1,000 head.
Wow.
Jim County used to start down at the dump in Horseshoe Bend. That's where they bunched up, and they had about 1,500 head.
Wow.
And they went up to Middle Fork, through Silver Creek Plunge and over the top Bitter Creek Trail, and the Garden Valley went up over Scott Mountain. We all got there about the same time. We had to, sometimes we had to, at Deadwood or where the Bitter Creek Trail comes in, we had, or to Deer Creek, we had to wait a day, maybe at Deadwood, till Bear Valley cows had gone through, or we had to wait a day to keep from mixing everything up.
Did you camp that whole time?
Yep.
Now, how many cowboys would be on a?
Well, there was about 3 or 4 people that were good, and then about a dozen kids.
That's what,
I was one of them kids to start. One year, Jim Yorn was working for J.I. Morgan, and I was about 16, 17, and Harry said, no telephone, but Harry said, come up and got me. He said, come on, let's go. We're going to Bear Valley. And anyhow, he said, you're going to have to ride Little Anderson and all that, and there wasn't any roads in any of it.
wow.
And we went up and we're right up where the rifle range is over here. And that was the old sheep trail. Went up the hill, and went up there, and Nelson Creek, Poor Man, Carpenter Creek, and nobody knows it, and it's not hid from anybody. There is a little lake right in the head of Carpenter Creek. Right on it. It's actually about 100 feet below the top of the hill on the dam skin side. There's a little lake in there, and we went up over the top and down and come out down the dam skin and then hit the road and up to Pine Creek. Jim and I used to push a lot of cows up the head of dam skin over the top of the hill and come to Pine Creek. And nobody knows that either, but it's a narrow spot, and you push them up over the hill and drop them into Pine Creek. That's the way we went to Bear Valley.
So is he telling the truth? Is that right?
As far as we
you guys
know.
want to introduce yourselves again? So, and nice come out. Stand up and tell us who all everyone is. So, you don't have
Start
to
with
stand.
Jan.
Jan.
He's already standing.
Steve, are you the oldest?
He's the oldest.
Then Jan.
Then Jan.
I'm Linda. She was third.
Third.
And we lost Karen. We had another sister, Karen, but she has passed. And then Monty, way down in the line came Monty. He's 15 years younger than I am, so. And then we had Malia, which Malia isn't here, but Leah's the youngest.
Okay.
So.
And then Judy is Steve's.
Yep.
And Jeff is mine.
Jeff is yours. Is anybody else, any other alleys or factals or urines back there? Okay, awesome. Well, should we move on to maybe building the rodeo and the girls in the rodeo and Jan? Yeah?
Jan can fill you in on more than that.
Well, all right.
I was just a dummy out in the ring.
No, I didn't pick up man though.
John, can I ask Jen
Well,
a question?
Oh, yeah, got a question here.
Yeah, Jen, you know, you were talking about the Charters house and the Orrin house.
Yes.
Now, they're the two historic homes here in the valley. Were they sort of built together, sort of on the same plan?
Believe it or not, the Orrin house and the Charters house and what used to be one of the Mills house, and they were all Sears and Roebuck houses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're Sears and Roebuck houses.
We know
And
it. So beautiful.
the Charters place over there, it has, I don't know how many have been over there, but I don't even know if it still has it anymore. But
one
it used to
that's hiding in the
have
corner.
a rail fence, a rail porch around the whole porch of rail, and they carried all of those uprights for the thing, I don't know what you call them. But anyhow, they carried all of those in muleback, horseback. There was no roads back in that day.
Hey, Jan, can I get you to come back this way? 'Cause I think Chris is taking pictures of, right? And you probably can't get her on there. Yeah, there we go. All right, rodeo queen.
I am not rodeo queen.
Oh, we're together. There we go.
I tried out for Queen in Snake River Stampede time, at one time, and they said I was too much of a rough rider. So that's the last time I tried. But I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records. I rode bareback broncs longer than anybody else ever has. I rode bareback broncs for 51 years. I rode bulls for 39 years. Said, got where the bulls were on top of me as much as I was on top of them. Wasn't near so much fun. Quit the bulls, and beside you, it's darn hard to ride a good bareback horse with broken ribs, and they broke lots of my ribs. I have one that's never been broke. So, but my dad came home. My dad rodeoed, and he didn't travel all over. He just rodeoed basically in Idaho. And he rode bareback horses. Once in a while he rode a bull. Wild cow milk, that was his main event, and wild horse racing. He had a wild horse race team, and they were very good at that. But he came home one time from a rodeo, and he said, "Dave, I saw something you'd like." He said there were some girls' exhibition and some bareback horses. Well, 3 weeks later, my dad put on the first full all-girl rodeo in Idaho, and he entered me in every event. I'd never even seen the barrel race at that time; it was just coming in.
Wow.
We're talking 1955 now, guys. But Dad said, that's not going to take me. Just horse that'll run and turn. And we had one, but he wouldn't turn around that tin can. It was in his way, so he had to stand up on his hind legs. But I rode my first bareback horse, old Meathead. Meathead just went out there and just hopped up and down and drove off the middle of the road. And there was 5 girls entered. 2 of them had bucked off, so I was sitting third. I thought I was cat's meow now, let me tell you. And so my dad had leased these horses from a stock contractor over in Twin Falls, and he had main holded every one of them out to see what they were going to do. And Jake Pope, who's had him, he came over and traded one of the horses. He brought a better bucking horse over and traded him because he'd got some wire cuts on him, and he didn't want to buck him in the big shows. But Bashful Boy was his name, and Bashful Boy was a lot more horse than the others. But anyhow, son, my dad main hold him out, and he said, any of these girls ask for a rewrite, I'm going to put them on Bashful Boy. So I was down, like I said, untying calves, and Peggy Charters came down. She said, Jen, your dad said you get a rewrite. I said, you got time to go get a Coke or something if you want, she said. So I went by the concession stand, which Mom and Grandma were running, and I said, I get a rewrite. Mom said, your dad better not put you on Bashful Boy. I said, Mom, I can ride him. I was 11 years old and everything. And I went over and called up. Dad had rigging on him, I was ready to go. And he said, better watch him, babe. There's going to be a little stop step on the rigging. Well, my dad never warned me of anything. So I kind of getting a little respectful, but not much. Well, my dad's version of it, he threw me so high the birds built a nest in my pocket for a hit. My version of it, I come down face first and plowed a furrow with my face. You could have found the potatoes. I rode my horse the next day, and I rode both my cows. I $54 for 24 seconds work. I thought I was on the road to riches. I was on the road a lot of years, and I had a lot of riches, but not necessarily monetary ones.
Here's a rodeo final for the nation in San Antonio, 78. I'm guessing you're in there.
Oh yeah, I'm in there. Yeah. That's my grandson that I raised. That's Gemini.
Who?
Jim Yorn was her name. Yeah, Jim Yorn, and that was our wedding dance.
Wow.
That's Linda and Karen and I, and Steve and everybody. That's my grandson that I raised, the big one. That's Zane. Oh, that's Christmas time. Believe it or not, that's me. That was one of my daughter's weddings.
You could dress you up, huh?
Those boots are in the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame, and that what they say on them is my boots start out as my dancing boots, and then when they get holes in the soles of them, then they go into my rigging bag, and in my rigging bag, right where they fall apart.
Right.
That's my last satellite one.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
That's Bob Tallman, rodeo announcer, not the rest. I can't see who that is, but that is. Really few down.
You see
You dancing with some little girl.
Little granddaughter, probably.
Oh yeah, that's granddaughter over in Salmon. That's Kitty's daughter. That is Sherry Mel and Martha Josie and me at the Hall of Fame.
Other cowgirls, huh?
Yeah. That's my sister Karen and I. Our sister. Not mine. Usually all of us is. I don't know what that is. I can't see it. That's Steve and I.
And which building is that behind you then?
That's the old barn.
Yorn barn?
Yeah, that's the old barn. Now that barn, that's the new barn. The original barn burned down in 1940, and then they built it. It was a lot bigger than this one. And they built this one. They had a regular barn raising. The whole community came in and raised the barn.
That's so cool.
That's my son. That's the Hall of Fame. I don't remember what her name is. Anyhow, she was on the newscaster. No, she's on her husband. He's a singer.
Faith Hill?
Yeah, might be.
Yeah, that's Faith Hill. Yep, that's who that is. Duh. I never can remember that. Oh, that's in Australia.
Australia?
Yeah, that's in Australia. That's the Aussie. I had 3 different Australians come over and learn to ride bucking horses from me. That's one of his mother right there.
Wow.
Did you ever go to Kansas City, Missouri?
Oh yeah.
Did you? To the
Yeah.
Boyle?
Yeah.
Oh, we might have known each other.
Yeah.
I did barrel racing and quarter horsing. So none of this hard stuff.
There you are.
That's the Hall of Fame, and that's Martha Josie. We put Martha on that. It's a fake bucking horse, you know. We put her on it every year, even the year she had a broken. Huh. Those are all the pictures. That they put on all the time. That's one time I broke my nose and broke.
Hey Jen, can you tell the story about the interview with Johnny Carson?
Not Johnny Carson. I was on Conan O'Brien, and I was on Maury Povich, and I was on what's the guy I don't know. I can't remember his name, but anyhow, you know, if you're an old fat freak, they invite you to come on those things, so. But, yeah. Conan O'Brien asked me, he said, that when I was on there, he said, how many bones have you broke? I said, a lot easier to tell you how many I haven't. I've got one rib that's never been broke, and I never broke either leg. Other than that, I have had my nose broke 14 times. I've had 8 breaks in my cheekbones. I tell everybody I used to be good looking, they all just laugh at me.
So because you're still good looking.
But yeah.
Any other questions for Jan? Guys? Any other things you want to share? Before we move on to Judy? No?
Pretty amazing.
Do you have children or grandchildren?
Between Jim and I, we have 15 children, 64 grandchildren.
Oh my gosh.
Right now, 126 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
And 3 great-greats. And I tell everybody I'm the most blessed woman in the whole world because they're all healthy, they've got good brains, they're great athletes, good people to go with it. And I did something I really enjoyed my whole life and had a small measure of success at it. And I still get around about as good as most women my age, and they didn't have near the fun I did.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you tell us how old you are?
I'm 81.
81.
I'm 83, so that's no good. But I didn't ride that long. I could ride before I could walk. My grandfather trained horses and bought and sold horses in Missouri. But I just gave it up after when I went to college. I didn't do any more barrel riding or any of that kind of stuff.
You still have to get together after. I'll say you had a small measure of success. That's very humble, right, about that. All right, siblings, how are we doing? Any things you want to tell on each other before I turn the time over to Judy? There's got to be something, Monty. You're awful quiet.
Sam, you know some stories on your dad?
Not that he want me to share.
Those are the ones we want to hear.
Those are the ones you want to hear.
All right, so I've got some pictures of Judy. Can you all hear back there? Are you? Oh, yay! Most of you can. Well, you hard of hearing, come on up. All right.
Stand up to speak.
Could you stand up, Judy? Yeah. That'd be all right. Judy's on her feet all day working hard. Okay. We'll get Judy.
Get one to stand on.
I didn't take a whole lot of pictures of you, Judy, but I did.
Oh, good.
Because you're so good. Is she so cute?
That was the first saddle I won in high school rodeo. I was a freshman, and I won it with my cousin Jim, Jan's son, Jim. We won saddles together. And the only reason I won the saddle was because my brother wouldn't team up with me because I was just going in and I was a girl and I wasn't good enough. So cousin Jim said, I'll rope with you. Well, we beat my brother in the team rope. We went all around saddles.
Can you tell people what it, maybe everybody knows, what it means to win a saddle?
It's an honor, and especially when you don't expect it. And then to win it with Jim, it was all the more special. And my granddaughter Joey is riding that saddle right now.
Wow. Wow.
My daughter has one that belonged to Jesse James.
I like to hang on to those.
But she just has it on rack. She's never ridden.
Here's a newspaper clipping you winning all around here.
And that was council. We went to a lot of rodeos during the summer. And that was what we did almost every weekend. And that was where I had my first knee injury. And it was doing goat tying, and I hated goat tying, but I didn't tear my knee up. So,
What does it mean to win all around?
all around is you do more than one event, and you win either points or money. Most of these were on point systems, so you won the most points in all of the events that you were in. And so High Point won the all around at the end of
They still do
day.
that, don't they?
I love
Yes, and that's goat tying, and I hated goat tying.
So you were good at it. You're winning.
If we were going to go, Dad said we had to do every event. And that's at Halfway in 1974. That was one of the first junior rodeos I went to. And they're still doing junior rodeos, aren't they, Linda?
Yeah,
Linda's in charge of the halfway rodeo for several years. I think she's going to give it up this year, she told me. But she still roped it.
35 years of it was a
Wow.
Where's halfway, sorry?
It's 53 miles east, kind of northeast of Baker City.
Oh.
Or I come over the hill from Cambridge down by the Hills Canyon Dam. That's how I travel all the time.
Right.
I don't like to travel the freeways in Ontario.
And that was another one. That was the first horse we had. Before you went to goat tying, when you were in the junior class, you had goat tail tying, so you had to run down and tie a ribbon on the goat's tail.
Oh,
That was always fun. And this is at Emmett. So we went all over Oregon and Idaho. A couple in Washington. I didn't go as far as Jan did. That poor old horse, we got him off the racetrack, and he didn't really like to run the barrels, but we made him. He always had his mouth open in return.
Beautiful.
And that's the first calf I learned to rope at the Caldwell Little Britches Rodeo. And it got me hooked. That is the arena, Joran's arena down here.
Do you want to say more about building these rodeo arenas and kind of?
So that arena flooded in '97 and was rebuilt. When did Jim build it to start with?
Well, it was, originally the arena was down below Fackel's shop, or automotive thing.
Yeah.
But that's where the arena was, down on the river. It was down there for many, many years. And then it wished out, and they decided they didn't want it back there anymore, so my dad and Jim, my husband, they built the arena that's over here. And that would have been in about 1974, 75.
Yeah, because that was
I
76.
had
So
women's professional rodeos. I had women came here from Canada and all over the country from rodeo here. So we had that for, 9 years, I think.
And that one is at Grangeville, but we went to a rodeo every weekend pretty much. And if we went, we did every event, and it helped if you could win money back, and it all went right back into entry fees and gas for the next rodeo.
Are those goats you?
That was a goat, yes.
Now they use lambs more, don't they?
Not for the tying, not for goat tying.
Oh, okay.
They ride the lambs, or the sheep, for the mutton busting. Yeah. And this was the finals rodeo, where we got the year-end awards. They keep track of all year from every rodeo. The points are gathered up, and then they have a finals and give the year-end awards there.
So you
And
want
your name's on quite a few of those awards, by the way. When I was filming, I noticed that.
That is the National High School Rodeo in Yakima, Washington in 1980. And we ended up 9th in the nation.
wow.
Awesome. That's awesome. Sorry, I'm not. Oh, I
Good,
think that
you're at
might
the
be
end.
the last. Yeah, it might be the last one.
How many years did you ride? Did you rodeo?
We started in '74, and the last girls' rodeo I went to was with Sam. 2000? Before 2000. Before, so in the 90s, the mid-90s.
Wow.
So.
So there's still a bunch of alleys and urines and backrows competing?
Yes.
Yes?
I can speak for the Yorns.
Linda's got lots of
Yeah,
granddaughters
Linda's got all kinds. Linda, I was going to throw that in here. Linda won the all-around for the state of Idaho High School Rodeo, too. Linda rode calves and stuff. She didn't ride many cows. She didn't like it. Got her face dirty. Linda's always been the pretty one. She didn't like getting her face dirty.
Well, does anybody have questions about anything else about, how many years are we talking about? 80, with Sterling, we're talking 100 and...
Grandpa came in
38. Dad came up here in 38.
All right, yeah, a lot of years.
I have a Judy story to tell.
All right, that's about it. Stand up.
Go ahead, Jenny.
All right.
Many turns, but everybody can hear you.
So back in the 80s, mid-80s probably, we used to get cattle, a cow, and raise it over near Tucker's. And we went down to Branch. Anybody remember J Branch?
Yep.
The Branches down in Horseshoe Bend. They had cattle that just roamed. They were wild. So we decided to buy one of those. We get it home, put it out in the field, and it takes off through the fence, headed for the river, right? I called Judy, and I'm like, Judy! Judy and Steve showed up within an hour, I think, with their horses, their ropes, and they're out there, and they're chasing this cow down and rope it and bring it back.
Did you guys hear that?
I've never forgotten that.
That's so awesome.
They were like the ones, the people to call if you had any issues like that.
Next time my cow gets loose.
It didn't last long. I don't think he went to wait.
They go to market.
You can't keep calling them.
I'd like to tell you a story about the alleys. Well, yours were involved in it too. But we were,
Sorry, make it work. There you go.
anyhow, we were eating. And Dad and Dick Hanley, who owned the joint, he had just bought the joint not very long before that. Anyhow, we were in eating and Dick stopped by. And he said, Sterling, there's a moose out in your field with the cows. Dad said, Dick, you've been drinking too much of your own wares. And Dick said, no, come out here and look. Well, sure enough, we went out there, and there was a moose out there in the field with the cows. So Dad and Steve run to the barn and saddle the horses and grab their ropes, and they're going to rope this moose. They take off. Well, of course, the moose had the advantage because every time it come to a fence, it jumped, and they had to find a gate. But we went across from our place, which was up Anderson Creek, and down across Anderson Creek and up on hill on the other side. Well, Jim, my husband Jim Yorn, and his brother Gene, they had been to somewhere and got a new washing machine for Carol, my aunt. Well, but anyhow, it was in the back of the pickup. Well, they saw what was going on. And so they join in the chase, and they're up on the top of the big ridge. They're bouncing through everything in that washing machine. But long story short, we never did get the moose caught because he kept jumping the fences. But they tried hard. But he ended up going down to Horseshoe Bend and got in the cows down there and got hoof rot, so they had to put him down. But that's the first moose that was seen in this country. Ever, I think, at that time. There've been a couple since then, but that's her.
Does the washing machine still work?
Well, the wives weren't too happy. I don't know about that.
Ray saw one moose at the top of our driveway, if you can believe it.
Yep,
He's
yep.
got the picture to prove it.
Hollered at Sam to come and take a picture, and it just disappeared. I don't know how something that big can just disappear, but it did. Wow.
Yeah, go ahead, Ron. Ron's got a question.
It's not a question. I'm just going to say, 20 years ago when we first moved here, Gretchen looked out our window and she says, "What is that?" And it was a moose right in Anderson.
There you go.
The son of this one.
I wanted to elaborate a little bit more. Well, Linda reminded me that Dad wasn't just a farmer and a rancher, and he was also an outfitter and guide for many, many years. And he had his own sawmill. He cut lumber for everybody for many years. He was also the local barber. Anytime Dad would go cut somebody's hair, and here everybody come. In fact, I used one of his expressions just today. My arms don't work very good anymore, and I said, I'm going to have to get my hair cut like a boy's behind pretty quick. Because every time the girls would come, Dad would say, you want it cut like a boy's behind? Yeah, he was the barber, he was the veterinarian, he was everything. And he was the doctor, too. He did put a lot of stitches in me. And not just me, a lot of other people come and get cut up, and they come to Dad and he puts stitches in.
How many people lived in the valley at that time, you think?
I don't know.
Or when you guys
Probably
were-
around 300, maybe 300, I doubt it. That's from one end to the other. Now, we're not just talking right in the valley, but,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's way too many people now, but. I used to, we lived up Alder Creek, the last house on Alder Creek. In fact, my dad built the cabin that's up there, the last house on Alder Creek now. And I don't know, it might not be anymore, it might not be.
Is it the one
It
close
still
to the
is,
road?
okay.
Is it
But
the one
I
on
used
the
to-
road? Is it close to the
The
road?
cabin is.
Yeah.
The cabin is,
The
the
house
old
we
house.
lived in was
The old house
back
was
home.
up the driveway. I'd ride to Crouch, quite often. 7, 8 years old, and I'd ride to Crouch. And I might pass 6, 7 cars all the way. That's all there was from up Alder Creek to Crouch. Now, another story, the school buses didn't run up Alder Creek. But we came to school, Steve and I rode our horses to school, put them in the old Tucker barn every day. It was decent. When it wasn't decent. In the wintertime, Daddy'd hook up the team and sled, and we came on the sled to school.
Great.
Steve, were you telling me about a time where that you wouldn't even stop the sled, your dad would just keep going and everybody
Yep.
had to just jump on?
Still got the old sled up at the house. And Dad never stopped the sled. He had a team of runaway mules, and he used to saw on them and make it. Of course, the road's a lot different now. The old road up Alder Creek is about the same place, but it was pretty narrow and pretty crooked, and they'd get to
In big dips.
where the red barn is up there now. Why, the Rexmans lived there. Dad go to sawing on when he'd make that corner and get them slowed down and they could all run and jump on. Go to the schoolyard and he'd do the same thing, just make a big corner and back up the road he'd go. The mules was beginning to get run down by then, and they were easier to slow down.
That's funny. Yeah.
Got another story in the works I hear.
I don't know if that's true.
Steve, what's the worst winter you've ever seen here?
About 5.5, 6 feet of snow.
Tell us.
How much?
5.5, 6 feet of snow. It was a regular winter.
I don't know.
These winters we have now are just like springtime.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no snow at all. We used to, when I worked, and the only reason I can tell you is I bought 2 new snowmobiles and in '72. And I used to plow snow for the county, and I'd come home from work and get on them snowmobiles, and my wife and I ride up around there, and we never stopped to open the gate. Right down through here and back home.
Wow.
Never opened the gate at all, never had to. And it was that high above the fences.
Yeah.
And one of these days, folks, and I don't want to be smart, it's going to snow.
Yeah. Get ready, it's coming.
On my 6th birthday, and my birthday's the 2nd of October, and Mom had planned a birthday party for me. Well, it snowed a lot. And they couldn't get up Alder Creek. We still lived up Alder Creek. So we had to move the birthday party to the hall. And there was snow piled up in the middle of Crouch and side there that was over 6 foot deep on the 2nd of October. I mean, this is where it was piled up now. The snow wasn't 6 foot deep all over, but that's where they piled it up. And those snow piles were over 6 feet where they piled it up on the 2nd of October.
There's something that most of you people don't know, that we used to hold school in the back room of the hall. For 3 years I went to school in the back room of the hall. Where the stage is now, and where they got the community hall.
Yeah.
There used to be a room back there. There was a dinner room. They had dances and stuff, and everybody, all the women brought sandwiches
Socials.
and,
Kind of thing, yeah.
and danced there. And every 2 weeks they had a big dance all winter long. And then in the back one, there was that thing, and I went to school in there for 3 years.
Well, the reason we went to school there was because there used to be 3 buildings. The high school building, the old building, not the one now, but the old high school building on the hill, and then there was 2 grade school buildings down there. First, second, and third was in one, and the teachers' quarters were in a room built on the back of it. That's where the teacher lived. And then the third, fourth, and fifth, or fourth, fifth, and sixth were in the other one. After that, you got to go to the big school up on top in the 7th and 8th. And it burned our teachers, the whole schoolhouse burned, the middle one. 4th, 5th, and 6th grade it burned. And so we went to school in the hall. And that was a fun time. Because we would, the principal wasn't there, and there wasn't anybody, and we kind of snuck out and didn't come home. Didn't come back to school after lunch once in a while and all that.
Did you guys do the cowboy ball?
Huh?
Who did the cowboy ball at the community hall? Wasn't there used to be a big dance?
Oh, yeah, Cattleman's convention, yeah. At Cattleman's every year, it was a huge dance. You couldn't get in the door. You'd have to, same with the joint. You couldn't try to go up the joint, and it was packed. You'd have to work your way through. If you had to go, there wasn't restrooms at the hall. The only ones with restrooms was up there. Now, I'll tell you something, and he was in on it. It wasn't just, I was Halloween was a lot of fun. Well, Dad told us we could do anything, but we couldn't be destructive. We could do fun things. Well, Butch Calder lived with us, and Steve and Butch and me and a couple others. Steve hooked the team up, and we had the hay wagon, and we took it over, and there was a double outhouse down at the hall, and that was women on one side and guys, and there was a four-holer, and we loaded that on the trailer or the hay wagon, and we took it over to school. Now the old school, I don't know how they got away with it, but it only had one door. There was only the front door. There were steps going up, and then the front door, big white door, and there was no other exit or entrance to that school. And so we spent a lot of hard work and got that double toilet up against the door. And the next morning we didn't have to go to school because nobody could get in.
Secret's out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, we had a big old bell at the bottom, and Mr. Rodemack, now the old Rodemack place is up the middle court.
Right where you turn to go to Terrace
Lakes, the old places down there. That's no Ira Rodemack, and Ira had a stiff knee.
And a bald head.
And when he'd get upset, that bald head would turn really red. And he would go down, we had a big old bell, there was like 6 steps. You went in, you come out the outside steps, and then there was like a platform, and that's where the bell was down there, and then you had another 6 steps to get up where the school was, where the schoolrooms were. But anyhow, every morning, I would go down and going to ring the bell. Well, Butch Calder, who lived with us quite a while, and Butch always was beating me down there, because he'd get so mad when Butch would get down there and ring the bell first, his head would turn. So Butch and Steve and me and I don't know, maybe somebody else was on. And anyhow, we took fresh cow manure and packed into the bed. And the next morning, comes time for school to start. Ira starts down the steps, and Butch is just out of habit, So Steve hollers, Butch! And Ira grabbed because he was upset because Butch was trying to beat him down there again, and he grabbed that thing and go. And his bald head wasn't red that much.
What kind of trouble did you guys get in?
None.
Those are the good
We're Juby today, but.
We filled it full of cow manure one time, wet cow manure.
Did you guys put Munster cheese in the furnace? Did you?
No, I
No! Limburg cheese.
That was school for 2 or 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Schoolhouse up
No, it was a great life. That's all I can say.
Well, I've got to tell you that my mother, my grandmother, have told me some of the same stories. So it must have been nationwide, because that's Missouri. And that's good. And they did the same thing with outhouses and all this kind of stuff that they did. So,
Do you want to close, kind of recap anything, Judy?
I think they're doing good.
All right.
That gal laying against the wall over there,
That's Sammy.
that's Sammy, that's Monty's daughter.
This is Monty.
That's an alley.
All right.
Oh, no.
And you ride as well, it sounds like.
She rode bareback
Yeah,
horses.
she rode bareback horses.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, Donna, can we get a family photo?
That's
a
a
good
good.
idea.
That's a family
Yeah.
photo. Linda, will you take it?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
All right. And while we're getting that going, thanks everyone for supporting us. Time for